Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm AndyRC and today I'm going to attempt to review the Furibee P180. Now why do I say attempt? Well, I've been having a real struggle with this one. I mentioned in one of my news videos that I've actually tried two of them here. So originally I was sent this guy and I was ready to review it, and then all of a sudden one of the ESCs died. I think it was this back one here. So I made a video to the manufacturer and they said, fair enough, we'll send you another one. And then the new one came and that one's on-screen display didn't work. Just anything I tried updating the font, I could connect to it, but I am assuming that the on-screen display chip burnt out. Anyways, so yeah, it's going to be a struggle for me to recommend this one, and that's a shame because I really like the Furibee brand, the Furibee Fuuton. Literally one of the best bind and flies RTFs out there, and I expected the same from this one. And on paper it looks really good. I mean, it's a 4-inch, so yeah, 180 size. We have an on-screen display. We've got an SP Racing F3. We have got actually 5-inch motors, so 2205. They are 2300 kV motors. And these aren't the original props, you'll notice either. I've even struggled with the original prop. So you get given this prop here, which is obviously a tri-blade, but they break so easily. I managed to break like 3 of them before I'd even flown the thing. So this is the end result of that. They also give you a 2-blade as well, which looks to be the same material, so straight away I'm breaking props before I've even flown it. So yeah, that's not good. The frame looks pretty nice. Oh, one thing that I had as well with this, let me see this one, it's all beat up here. This motor wouldn't turn at all, and what it was is there was a piece of metal inside the motor. I took the C-clip off and I completely destroyed the C-clip, so I had to put a new C-clip on. The motor's fine after that I took that metal piece out, but yeah, just the build quality I don't think it's on par. I mean, this is the top plate here and you can physically waggle it and move it, and then this is the back LED here, which isn't connected up to the DIN as far as I can see. So we have got these dip switches here on the back, and then you flip those and then it changes color. I couldn't get the DIN to work, so I need to check the wiring on that. Then we have got a buzzer on here as well, and it works on this one, but on this one I booted it all up and it didn't work. It was wired backwards. So yeah, quality control with that one. The ESCs, they are BL Heli S 30 amp, but like I say, I had one fail and I thought I had another one fail. I mentioned in my news video, but it hadn't. What had happened was, can you see here, there's a little bit of tension on this ESC here, and the motor wires had ripped out. So I've resoldered those and that seems to be fine. Now we've got a CCD camera up the front here, and we've also got a switchable VTX from 25 milliwatt to 200 milliwatt. So you got a little button there. So yeah, it's another one of these very long press. It goes from low to high on here, and then you've got like a couple of second press, takes you through the different bands, and then a very short press to the 8 different bands there. So like I say, on paper it's very good, but yeah, I've just struggled with it. The camera angle as well on this, by the way, just look at that, it goes to a crazy camera angle. We have got this sort of flexible TPU style mount here. You don't get given a battery with this one, so this is my own battery. And yeah, so with a battery, I think it weighs 464 grams, and without a battery, it weighs, I think, just under 300 grams. So fairly lightweight, but it's, you know, it's competing with the Fuuton, which is better quality. It's a little bit more money, yes, but yeah, I've just struggled with this one. Yeah, we have a rubber battery pad under here, it's silicone. And to get all of this apart, you have these screws here, and they do fit flush. And then this pod lifts up here. The receiver as well, I should talk about the receiver. I went for the FR Sky receiver, and it's PPM, not S-Bus. So I found that there was a little bit of a delay whilst I was flying. Yeah, it's not quite as responsive as S-Bus, but yeah, you can still fly it, I guess. So we have got a SP Racing F3 here with a built-in on-screen display. However, it's not Bfight on-screen display. It is multi-Wii on-screen display, version 1.6, I think it was on here. And it wasn't set up whatsoever. So when I plugged it all in with the one where the on-screen display did work, the voltage wasn't coming through, and that is because it was set to not use the flight controller's voltage, so it's just given a random voltage on there. So I went in there and changed it. You can actually change it without having to plug into multi-Wii on-screen display. If you bind your transmitter up to it, you can then go through the on-screen displays menu doing the rudder trick and the full pitch and the throttle in the middle, and then put use FC for voltage. But I did end up connecting it up to multi-Wii on-screen display as well, just to check that all that worked. The biggest problem that I had with this when I received it as well is it's got a version of Clean Flight on there that's no longer supported by any of the configurators. So even if it had settings on there, I had to start from scratch anyways. So I went into the CLI, which it'll let you do on the current configurator, and then I copied the target, which is the SP Racing F3, and then I flashed Bfight to it. Now you might be thinking, where's the USB connector? And yeah, they are using one of these. They've given you this in the package. This is an FTDI adapter here. It's a 5-volt one. No instructions with this whatsoever, so it doesn't tell you which way the wires go. So I can show you here. We've got the DTR, the RX, the TX, the 5-volt and ground there, if you want a quick look at that. And then that works in this slot here to configure the flight controller, and then this slot here to configure multi-Wii on-screen display version 1.6. Yeah, so you have to download that. I can't remember the version exactly, but yes, you have to download that. Basically, when you boot it up and your on-screen display works, it'll tell you what version of multi-Wii is on there, and then you need to download that configurator. And yeah, so that works for that. But yeah, a little bit fiddly. It would have been nice to just have 2 USB ports there, but it's kind of nice that you get given this and you can sort of just keep it in a drawer and then update it when you like. But yeah, other than that, I've struggled with getting it going. Like I say, it should not take 2 models to get one working, and I'm now worried about other ESCs failing and things. You're given a Pagoda antenna, which is the Pagoda 2. I tend to not use these. Anyways, it looks like it's SMA as well, so I'll probably replace that out for just a normal cloverleaf for my flying, because I'm not the biggest fan of these. People use them and that is fine, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. You're also given one of these sandwich carbon packs for your battery, even though there's no battery in the package, and you're given a spare one of the straps as well. I guess that is for if you want to put a GoPro around here, so you could do that, but I don't think it's going to be as powerful as a 5-inch model, so it might be quite sluggish if you stuck a GoPro on the top there. But yeah, in conclusion, I'm not too impressed with the quality, and it's taken a lot of messing around. I think the quality control needs to be much better. Oh, another thing as well that I noticed, as I've had to take all of this apart, there is no common ground between the on-screen display and the camera. So I haven't flown this one FPV yet because, well, I've just been struggling, and there's no telling whether I'm going to be able to actually. But when there's no ground connected, from the camera to the on-screen display. I think it just goes into this power distribution board here. Then when you throttle up, the on-screen display can disappear, and I thought maybe that's what had happened with this one, but no, it just wouldn't power up on this one yet. So that could be another modification that I have to do, is tap into the ground of the camera and VTX. Otherwise that on-screen display is not going to be any good. Anyways, I have bound it to my Taranis and set up all the modes, etc. So let's see if I can manage to get it to fly at all. Okay, let's go for a takeoff with this one. Starting off in angle mode. Get it out of the grass quickly. Everything seems okay so far. Let's check out the punch. It's not bad at all, and it screams as well. Really like the colour scheme on this one. Look at that. Wow, this is loud. Let's try some acro. It's funny, yeah, I'm definitely feeling a little bit of a delay on the PPM on this one. But it's not bad at all. Definitely flyable. So this isn't the stock tune. Because the stock Bfight tune these days, I tend to find that, especially for smaller models, the D is a little bit too high. So I think I reduced the D, but I won't give my PIDs until I've done the FPV flights and made sure that it's tuned nicely. But so far, line of sight, it's behaving. Let's check out that punch again. Yep, not bad. I would say not as much punch as a 5-inch, which is expected really, because it's not the lightest of models and it's smaller props. But it's certainly no slouch. Definitely no slouch. I guess it's that initial punch out that I'm not seeing, but once it gets going, yeah, it feels pretty powerful. Yeah, it's flying alright. I really like this colour scheme for some reason. To give you an idea of how loud it is, it's not too bad. Certainly not as bad as that wizard on the 5S, that's for sure. Yeah, it's flying nice, okay. Let's come in for a landing, and then I'll do some FPV with it. So I did manage to get a version flying to do some FPV with it, but just look at the on-screen display here, flickering, and it does disappear eventually, so that confirms what I was thinking before. And there we go, it's pretty much gone. Yeah, it needs the ground hooked up to the on-screen display. Otherwise it's going to disappear eventually, and it has done. And I don't think it ever comes back at this point. There's also a fair amount of noise on the video feed as well. It's not debilitating, and what's interesting is it's not coming from the ESCs, it's just always there. So again, probably a grounding issue or something like that. I need to persevere more with it because, you know, it does have potential to be a great model, but out of the box, it's been nothing but a struggle. And I imagine you might find the same as well. Now, it is a little bit cheaper than the Fuuton and the Bfight, but not enough to be able to say, yeah, it's worth it over all of the issues. It needs a better tune as well. I didn't spend a lot of time tuning it because I was spending most of my time just trying to get it to fly, but I may persevere with it. But yeah, I think out of the box there are better options such as the Bfight and the Fuuton 200. So one thing I didn't mention as well, I think I might have mentioned it in a news and updates vid. It's got a little button that just hangs out the back. That is your binding button. And then you just sort of have to tuck that away there, because otherwise you'd have to take the whole thing apart to reach the receiver. And I do think there is a little bit of a delay on this receiver as well, with it being ppm. I used to say I could never tell the difference, but I certainly could with this particular receiver. So for me, updates would be soldering in a ground there from the camera and the OSD and the VTX so that I can get the on-screen display working. And also I'd probably switch out the receiver for an S-Bus one as well, because I just couldn't get used to the slight lag on the control. But other than that, yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare to get going, and yeah, it still needs some stuff changing. Just the quality control just not on par with, well, the other Furibee items. It's almost like it didn't come from the same company, but the box is pretty much the same as you get with the Fuuton. So there you go, that is my attempted review at the Furibee P180. I'll put a link in the description if you wish to get one, but with caution. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.